We've been live.
No, you have not been live.
All right.
Now it says end broadcast, right? Now you're live.
Now we're live.
So it's not showing.
So Foxburg, thank you for that text. Yep. Good. Excellent. Yeah. Foxburg says, good call, background voice. Okay, how about now? How about now on the YouTube? Because it says live for 5 minutes. Give me a confirmation. Live and working. There it is. See? Excellent. We now have, and we have proof of life over here. So we're going to add to our checklist to have our check window up on a computer or something so that we could see, the full loop back. Put that on the checklist. Faceless voice.
You're the one with the 3x5 file cards, damn it. Use your Sharpie.
So hi guys, Mr. Paul Morley, welcome aboard. Unbelievable. Well, we made it. It's 5 minutes after the hour, and we're on the road here. So, welcome aboard. We got a lot of things to talk about today, and I want to hear from you guys also. See what you're doing. We have some follow-up from last week. We had some homework last week, and we did half of our homework. So we'll talk about the half that we did. We had some regrets today. Warren, my friend in New Hampshire, can't join us because he's visiting family today, so that's kind of a bummer. But he's having a good time, and he should be visiting family. So that's really neat. So, yeah, let's get rolling here. I guess one of the first things, did everybody do their homework and watch the video that I posted about half an hour to 45 minutes ago? Because we're going to be talking about the production of the NOZs using resin printing. And that's been very interesting. Okay, Foxburg's bailing out of Instagram to go back to YouTube. I appreciate the feedbacks. So we're going to talk about that today, but I'm going to get some other lightweight stuff out of the way. Here's everybody want a piece of good news? There's some great news. So you may recall last week when I got an order from McMaster Car, and in my McMaster Car order, I got an ID lap that looks like this. And I ordered an ID lap and a spare. Well, you'll notice that these are different. So when they came, this fat guy was on the lap arbor, and this was the spare. So I contacted McMaster Car on the website in the usual manner, and I said, and I actually took a picture of my paperwork, and I said, hey, these were supposed to be the same size, and they're not the same size. Let me just pause to say welcome to P. Hacrono, who has a nice aircraft picture. It looks like a glider. I hope it is. And B. Heinrich, welcome aboard. And Octane. Octane's here. So anyway, I placed this McMaster Car order, and I got an error, a rare error from McMaster Car, because I got this fat lap. So they said, we'll take care of you. So within 48 hours, I had a replacement lap arbor and lap. So now that is all. I have more than my original order. And you know what McMaster Car did? Their top shelf. They said, look, keep it or throw it out, but as long as you're happy. Keep it or throw it out as long as you're happy. That's amazing. So kudos to McMaster Car, my favorite supply company on the planet. And we got all set. So that project, you probably won't see the results of that project for about 2 weeks, because I've got a full plate. But at least I ordered and got my ID laps in brass. And Conjet is checking in as tech support. Thank you very much. So that was one thing we could take off the checklist, and that was from last week. Another thing that happened today, and you may have seen a post from me about 20 minutes ago or so. Another member of our community got hacked on Instagram, and I'm going to explain how this hack works so that you can spread the word and keep everybody safe. I received a direct message from this person on Instagram that said, "Hey, I'm going to send you a link. Would you screenshot it for me and send it back? I'm having trouble getting a screenshot." Something like that. And if I didn't know better, I would have said, yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, good. Chris, the pragmatic machinist, says he already has a new account and he's aware he got hacked. Good. So let me explain how this works. So they say, hey, I'm going to send you a link. Could you just screenshot it and send it back? So the link comes in, and it's one of these shortened URLs. In other words, it uses a URL shortening service. So you can't really tell what that link is. Here's what the link is. The hacker went to your Instagram and said, I forgot my password. Instagram gives the hacker a link and says, oh no, Instagram sends a link to your account and says, hey, we understand you lost your password. Click here. Well, that goes to you. And then the hacker is asking you to screenshot it and send it to them. They type it in, change your password, and they own your account. Okay? That's how it works. So if you ever get a message, yes, Proteum, we're going to get to that. If you ever get a message that says, please take a screenshot, I'm going to send you a link, that's the key right there. So I don't know if we could find out the new account name. Bart would like to know the new account name. We'll pass that around. But if you ever get the screenshot hack, so here's what I did. The hacker says, hey, can you screenshot the thing and send me the thing? Because I forgot my thing or something. And I said, sure, after you pay your invoice that's overdue. And of course, I get this message back that says, oh no, I'm going to pay the invoice, but first I got to take care of this thing because it's really a problem. And then what I do is I just start sending them a countdown. I send them a 5, 4. Now, it's very important before the hacker recognizes that you know what's going on, that you screenshot the account information so that you can then put it out on a post like I did. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And previously, I've had hackers that have just lost their minds and quickly canceled the account and got out of there. And this one said, you're blocked. I'm like, I'm blocked. Anyway, so keep an eye out for this going on. And if it happens, take a screenshot of the account information, with the picture and the account name before they kill the account, and then post it and let everybody know it was hacked. So that was what happened this morning. I'm happy to hear that he has a new account, and he'd be welcome here anytime. Anytime. I wish, these Instagram hackers would. Oh yeah. Yeah. So Paul Morley says that there are numerous variations of this account. Others will do a 6-digit code instead of a link. Same deal, but basically keep an eye out for that. Now, Proteum Machine said the right thing. He said, 2-factor authentication on everything. That is really important. So you can get an authenticator app from Google, the Google Authenticator app. I use the one from LastPass because I'm a LastPass customer. But everything should have two-factor authentication on it, and this stuff would end. I think Chris, the pragmatic machinist, is coming up with the data. Okay. His new account is PMT, that's Papa Mike Tango, Honolulu, HONOLULU, digit 2. PMT Honolulu 2 is his new account. So there you go. So now everybody on YouTube has it, and everybody on Instagram has it. And we have GLG Forge Works is in the YouTubes. Welcome aboard, sir. By the way, today's next topic features stickers from such famous accounts as GLG Forge Works. Look at that baby. So let's get on to the stickers topic. Pretty excited about this because we finally got us some proper stickers. So as shown on the account, we now have a sticker pack which is available for sale. You think I'm giving this stuff away? I'm not giving this stuff away. It's for sale.
You can trade it for other stickers.
So either you go to my store and you could buy this for shipped post-paid in the United States only. We're going to take care of you international guys, don't worry, for $10. Or send me your sticker, or tell me you are sending me your sticker, and it's free, absolutely free. So we'd like to see your sticker up on the sticker board. And here's the sticker board. So we're going to have this sticker board hanging. It's going to hang right up behind the camera. Everybody will be able to see it, but it'll also be portable so that we can take it down and move it around. So if you want to see your sticker up on the sticker board, send me a sticker and I'll send you a sticker pack. Such a deal. If you send me a sticker, I'm going to use another example here. You send me one sticker, I'll send you 5 stickers, including the much coveted Laser Shark. And now the designer of the Laser Shark, Sam.
Hello.
So Sam does all our artwork. So when you see these magnificent stickers, Sam designed them. Okay. And Sam also does custom stickers for anybody who needs the service.
Yes, and I will mention that the Laser Shark was not an original idea. It was brought on by one pragmatic machinist, Chris. That sticker is dedicated to you.
Chris, you don't have to do anything. We're going to get you your stickers. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We covered this already. See, I love lag.
I love the delay.
I love the delay.
Yeah, so I actually put in an order for a sticker pack. I haven't received it yet.
You haven't received your sticker pack?
Yeah, and I have a bunch of stickers here to trade in.
Let me check the account. She's right. So, hang on.
Example.
I'm delivering a sticker pack.
And here is your sticker in return.
Ooh, look at this.
So for those of you who don't know me and don't know what I do, I do a lot of fantasy art and character art, in addition to all the stuff that I do for this nerd. So you will see, if you go to my website, which is conjet.art, quite literally, that is also my Instagram username, which that Instagram is not currently active, but I do have a Conjet Art Twitter account. You can find all sorts of cool art stuff on my website, and I'm actually trying to get rid of a bunch of stock. So if you want to, support the artist, support me buying way too many snacks.
And I could tell you from firsthand experience that it's very easy to work with Sam and get a sticker designed the way you want it while you watch, almost. And we use Sticker Mule. There's other sticker companies, but we really like Sticker Mule, and they do a great job.
I appreciate the YouTube chat. Thank you for the glasses chain comment. This is the only way I managed to keep these things on my face. And then, yes, I am the one who reminds him to actually push the button that says go. So,
Well, this is this to be fair, or to be honest, as the kids say these days. This was the first time we launched. It's a little complicated, but we did a thing on OBS that was a little different than before, and that was what was confusing.
yes, and I've used OBS before, so that's why I'm the technical support.
So tech support is over there sitting on the shipping department bench eating croissant. Go figure.
Someone has to fund the sushi addiction. Yes, I'm attempting to fund it myself.
Okay.
It's not going well yet. It will.
Who said that? John.
John knows me. John understands.
John's awesome. John is like 2 miles that way. Ish. Okay, so stickers are available. Just head over to Kinetic Precision store, which is, you can find it, links in bio, and either buy a sticker pack, which is almost zero profit for me, and or send me stickers, and I will send you stickers, and life is good.
I'm gonna put my link in the YouTube chat. If somebody can copy it over into the Instagram chat, you will be
okay. So the other thing on stickers is we're figuring out the international shipping. So if you're an international person, drop me a DM and we will check. I think we can do this almost exactly the same, but I don't want to get caught with big postage. So it turns out that the secret weapon is right here. Okay, this is a 6x8 mailer. Oh, yes, gotcha, Foxburg. This is a 6x8, mailer that comes from Uline. Okay, all the information is on it. I already posted this on Instagram, so you could go look it up. But this is a S2213, and it turns out that, I know it's backwards for Instagram, but it's forwards for YouTube. This is postable as a letter, which means I can mail this in the United States for $1.23, or about $1.20.
The artist got very excited finding this out.
Yeah. And internationally, we started poking at the international. Where was your friend? Germany?
I have friends in Germany and Australia.
So we did Germany and Australia, and they both came up with the same number, which I think was...
It was like $5.40 something?
It was under $6. It was $5 and change to send a first-class letter to those places. So we're hopeful that we could do a similar deal for international clients, and we can get some international stickers in here. So we're looking forward to it. So we should have some stickers on the board either for next Sunday, or we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Inaugural sticker on there?
Not today. We got too much to do. We got a lot going on here. So while we're on the topic of the tech support gremlin, why don't you make your announcement?
So, in case you ever wanted more chaos in your life, and
who doesn't?
Hour-long philosophical talks between two nerds, we got you covered, actually. We're starting something new. It was a bit of a spur-of-the-moment project called The Engineer and The Illustrator. It's a sort of podcast-style thing where we sit down, him and we sit down, and we chat. And I'm an illustrator, he's an engineer. We're both nerds. It's fun. And that's going live. We haven't decided exactly when, but presumably...
Call it.
Wednesday.
First episode will be out Wednesday. Watch on the YouTube stream.
We'll be premiering it, so we might be in the chat if you want to, see us laughing at our own jokes.
Oh, Foxburg, you can send them if you want, but don't send me any postage. If you send me stickers, I will take care of you, okay? Yes, you were here, John, for this historical moment. So Wednesday, the first episode is in the can. That sounds wrong.
That sounds very wrong. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're throwing it out.
No, it sounds like you're in the bathroom. That's not what we're talking about. The,
Snippet.
the first episode is complete, and we will publish on Wednesday. We'll probably, on the Kinetic Precision site, YouTube, if you're a subscriber, you will get a notification that a premiere is coming up, and that will be Wednesday. Flood City Tooling, welcome aboard.
Yes, and so the best part about these sorts of things is that because it premieres and we've pre-recorded it and we're going to be in the chat with you, if you have any questions for us, we'll be able to answer them.
Or not.
Or we will intentionally, keep it a secret for the sake of mystery and intrigue, because marketing.
Because marketing.
Because marketing.
Because marketing. I'm glad we covered that. No shipping stickers internationally in general from the USA. I don't know what you mean. I lost you. But we will figure out how to deal with the internationals. Like I said, it's the difference between $1.24 postage and $5 and change postage. So, because we've sent stuff international in things like this that have been really expensive.
$40 for shipping is a scam.
Yeah, because we didn't call it a letter. So now we can, and that took about 2 hours of research. So there you go. Okay, we got all the sticker stuff out of the way, and including the shipping. And we also told you about the Engineer and the Illustrator coming up on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for that on YouTube, on the Kinetic Precision channel. So we have a couple of topics today. And I'll remind you that if you're on Instagram and you got a little question button down there, you can use the question button to submit questions. Otherwise, you could put them in the chat on Instagram or the chat on YouTube, and we will answer all of them.
As many as you can get to.
No, we'll answer all of them. I'll make these guys stay late until they get answered. That's just the way it is. We answer all of them.
You're holding them hostage with good knowledge.
So if you've been following, and you have, otherwise you wouldn't be here, on Instagram, I've been working on NOZ production. And if you don't know what the NOZ is, the NOZ is a custom coolant nozzle that uses antenna technology, where we focus multiple streams of coolant to the spot that you're grinding. And it has some very interesting side effects. One of the things that goes on is that if you tip the coolant nozzle up a little bit, you hit the wheel before the grind site, but you also hit the sides of the wheel, and it cleans the wheel spectacularly. It's been a real win. I designed the NOZ originally specifically for making PFG stones. For the YouTube guys, there's a link right there. That's not a link, that's just an address. And it works great. The problem with PFG stones is that the swarf is not departing the grinding area at a high rate of speed. It's different. It's different than grinding metal. Give me tool steel any day of the week. So the high pressure, high velocity coolant cleans the area, but it's also cleaning the wheel, and the results are amazing. The wheel is super clean during and after the grind, and it works out great. And then we developed several different versions of the NOZ. So we had Grimsmo Knives come to us and say, hey, we have the big fat lock line, not the little skinny lock line. So I developed a NOZ for them, and they're big wheels. They have these 12-inch wheels. And it is no almost machining. It is not a mouthpiece for your pipe. You're out of control. So we actually have right now 5 versions of the NOZ, and I know the website probably only shows 3 of them. I'm working on it. But here's the problem. it's easy to make one thing. When you go to make 100 things, you find all the issues. And that's what's happening with the NOZ. So the NOZ is resin printed. It's printed on a Formlabs resin printer, and it's printed from, there it is. It's printed from, focus. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Focus. Focus is optional. We print this from an engineering resin. It's been tested with coolant. Every PFG stone in the last 6 months, I think, has been made using a NOZ on the grinder.
That's about right.
And when you start making a lot of them, you start seeing the variations and the problems and the defects. So what was happening, there were two problems. And one of my favorite sayings in engineering is that it's never one problem. It's always two problems, right? So there were two things going on. Thing number one appears to be that we got some wear on the tank membrane. So if you don't know, if you're not familiar with resin printing, generally you have a tank that's full of resin, and the bottom of that tank is essentially a window. And you shoot light up through the window to cure the part for that layer, and then you move the part up one layer increment, and then you do it again. That's a little oversimplification, but that's close enough. Well, that plate has to be nice and clean and repeatable. The technology in the Formlabs printer is called low force lithography, LFL, I think. And it's a flexible membrane on the bottom. And as the optical component comes along, which by the way is a laser and a long optic, so the laser is actually scanning, it pushes the plastic up, it cures the resin, and then it moves along, so it peels off what it just cured. So it impacts with very low force on the work. Well, we printed a lot of things out of this engineering resin with that particular tank, and I think the hypothesis, which I think is proven correct, was that I was starting to get wear on that plastic, which is possible. So to prove the hypothesis, I started with a brand new tank and a brand new liter of resin. That looked pretty good. If you look at the side of the NOZ, I'm trying to get everybody in focus here. Okay. You can see striations just barely. It's actually really smooth. Well, on the units that were printed on the old tank before I changed it, you can see every now and then one of the striations wasn't that good. So there was this variation. As soon as I changed it out, the variation went away. So that was a pretty good confirmation of the hypothesis. I don't believe the resin was the problem, and we don't see any evidence that the resin was the problem, but definitely the tank has some wear on it. So that was number one problem. Number two problem is a known deal, right? The NOZ has these narrow channels in it, okay? And the narrow channels are hard to flush resin out of. So when you finish printing these things, and actually they print like this, right? They're hanging, they're like bats. And when you take the build plate out and you pop it off, you are going into a washing process using isopropyl alcohol. And that's when you have the opportunity to get all these pores clean. Now, if you go to the Formlabs website, you will find a knowledge base where they will teach you about making things that are microfluidic channels, just, thin channels. And what they show is using a syringe to flush out the part using the isopropyl alcohol manually in the pre-wash, and then going and finishing up the wash. You see where the problem is. The problem is now you've got a human operating on each part as it goes through the process. So I wanted to get rid of that. Does that work? Yes, it does. Did we do that before? Yes, we did. So as I posted, what we're trying now is we're trying a multi-stage washing process that will get the job done without an individual manual operation. You could almost think of it as, you know, in CNC mills, we talk about doing your deburring in the mill, right? Running around with a ball end mill and taking care of the deburring in the mill. If you could do that, then an operator doesn't stand there deburring parts. It's sort of the same thing. So we put in a pre-wash stage, which is a bunch of parts, and we pump it. We lift the tray and we dump the tray. We lift the tray and we dump the tray. We count how many times we do that. Then we go to another identical stage, just another tank of cleaner alcohol. We do it again. Then we go into a ultrasonic bath and we rinse it in an ultrasonic bath. And then finally we go into the long wash, which is a half an hour agitated inside of the automated unit. Nice thing about the automated unit is when it's all done, it raises the basket and lets everything drain. And then from there, it goes into the cure. So we did that according to a certain recipe, you know, this many pumps here, this many pumps here, this long in the ultrasonic, and then into the final wash. And that recipe has turned out 4 dissimilar, in other words, 4 different models of NOZ, and they're all perfect. Perfect. Okay. You can see those are different numbers of holes. These two are actually different. These are different orifice diameters and a different number of holes. Okay. Here's another one. Same thing. This is the 060. No, this is the 054 holes with a 054 diameter. That's 0.054 inches for those of you playing along at home. And those are 11 holes. This is the highest pressure one, which is what I have on the machine right now. And then this is the lowest pressure one, which is 15 holes at 078. And if you have a high horsepower, high flow rate coolant pump, you could use one of these. And one of these just went out the door. So we had success. However, the ultrasonic cleaner is too small to handle the production rate. So I have another ultrasonic cleaner coming. It'll be here this week, and we'll put that in. So making one thing is easy. Making 100 things is hard. I'm happy to say that I think we've landed on the recipe for the NOZ production. And then, you know, we can just crank it out. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, because I got this on Instagram with respect to the trays. You know, when we ship out the PFG Stones, they come in our trademark red dual tray, and I 3D print these using a filament printer or a FDM printer. And somebody asked me, is that cost effective? And the answer is yes. Now, you can't do a little bit of the math. You have to do all of the math. So I could go downstairs and I could walk up to any of my 3 Prusa printers, and I could bring up the file and I could say, make trays. And it will make trays. And the process has been tuned to the point where they will be perfect. Okay? Every now and then, yeah, there's a problem, but it's very rare. When production got high enough that that was a bottleneck, it was easy. I tripled the number of printers. So now I have 3 printers, and I could have them all running at the same time. So think about that. You could make the argument that, well, the plastic, you're paying too much for the plastic because it's on a filament roll. And it would be cheaper if you injection mold it. Okay. How much does the mold cost for the injection molder? A lot of money. Can I amortize that over the number of units I'm going to sell? Well, honestly, this is a kind of low volume product. See where we're going with this? So it turns out that 3D printing is a really excellent solution. Here's the NOZ, okay? First of all, because this is a focused array, if you think about how to design the injection mold for this, that mold is not a cheap mold. This is a very expensive mold. Meanwhile, I could go hit the button and go to bed and have a dozen NOZs done in the morning, except for, breaking them apart and checking them out and all that kind of stuff. So you have to consider the whole equation. You can't just consider small snapshots of cost, of dollars per ounce of plastic or that kind of thing. In the CNC business, we think about, well, I have to get $100 an hour for machine plus operator. Okay. Well, okay, but what's my overhead on a 3D printer? Resin printer, SLA or FDM. I love these acronyms. Resin printer or filament printer. What's my overhead? I don't have much overhead. And I'm not paying rent on the space. And I don't have to stand there with an oil gun. So there's a lot of really excellent economies to that. And it allows me to do this production. So this is a normal thing. Finding problems, having problems, and generating scrap and throwing it out and figuring it out and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until finally the process is smooth. Okay. And then you've got a process and you're able to serve your customer, make a profit, and everybody's happy. And it's a niche market. And if the thing blows up, like if the NOZs, blows up out of proportion, okay, maybe we do have to go to an injection mold, but that mold is going to be easily a $50,000 mold. So per design. So you're looking at 4 designs right here. If my $50,000 is reasonable, we're up to $200,000. But then there's another design you haven't seen. So we're up to $250,000 in investment. That's got to be a lot of stuff. So I think you get the picture. And I hope it's encouraging if you have an idea that you want to execute that may be a little nichey, go do it. Eventually, when the business starts running away from you and you don't get enough time to sleep, now you could take the next step and introduce automation. That's why there's a CNC grinder over there. Anyway, I hope that helps. Maybe that will help you think about your projects a little differently. But we have 2 different 3D printing technologies helping with making the products that we sell at Kinetic Precision. And that's pretty cool. More information on NOZs is at noz.gg, which is just a shortcut that'll take you to the NOZ information page, just like pfg.gg takes you to the PFG Stones information page. But that's all available. Now I'm going to have a sip of tea, and if you have any questions, type them in the thing. I just did a double take out the window because we just heard thunder. So I think we have a little summer thunderstorm building up. You guys have any questions, especially about 3D printing? How many of you are using 3D printing in your processes right now? Oh, here, I just got a message. Lightning struck within 3 miles of your current location. Guys, if I disappear, don't panic. Is anybody else using 3D printing in your process? So either nobody's using 3D printing or you guys are snoring, which is fine. It's summertime. So that was the story of the NOZ, and I can't emphasize enough how different making one of something is from making 100 of something. Chris, the pragmatic machinist, asks, is your workaround on shipping only for stickers and letters, or could small items be a letter? So for the 6x8 mailer, one of the requirements is that it be under a 1/4 inch thick. Now, that's the first thing. The other thing is it has to be, if you can bend it with less than 40 pounds of pressure to go on an 11-inch diameter cylinder, then it's called machinable. And that's a little cheaper than non-machinable, okay? So it depends is the answer. If it is absolutely rigid, there's a different rate, but it's not horrible. So the secret, the workaround, it's not a workaround, it's called first class postage. That's the workaround. So you can, and you know, if you have pry bars or if you have, you know, thin flat things, you might be able to use first class postage, but it'll take a little bit of research. Okay. And when I went to the post office, Foxburg says, sorry, I'm sorting grinding wheels. I saw the picture of your grinding wheels, dude. Oh my God, it's like a tractor trailer from Norton crashed in front of your house. That's impressive. Anyway, story for another day. So I went over to the post office after I did all my research, generated the requirements for a first class letter. I went over to the post office and talked to one of my favorite postal people behind the counter. And she said to me, she grabbed this template. They have this template, and she held it up to the template. She says, you see, this corner is in the blue zone, so that's good. If it's too narrow either way, you get at this corner gets out of the blue zone. And then she took it, and there was a slot on the template. She put it in the slot. She says it fits through the slot. So they have this way of checking it. And the other thing is 3.5 ounces. So Chris, this is an important part of this. Has to be under 3.5 ounces or it's not a first class letter. This mailer by itself is 1.4 ounces. So your payload, you're left with 2.1 ounces of payload. That's important. So again, if you have a pry bar or something, you might be getting close. Okay. Nick says, been thinking of getting what? I didn't follow. Have a hard time getting my 3D printer. You've been thinking of getting a 3D printer. You know, I'll tell you what. If you got a couple of $100 to spend and you want to learn something new and just do a challenge, I think it's worth learning about. Flood City Tooling says, I have a hard time getting my printer to work. My old shop was very cold and drafty. I'm thinking that may have caused some issues. It could cause some issues. And when I started 3D printing, I built a thermal chamber and I heated it. I had a thermally controlled chamber and I heated it. And I made these vents for the electronics. It was, you know, and that was for a Lulzbot. That was a Lulzbot Taz 6 printer, which I loved, and it did some good work. But when I got the Prusa, I looked at the Prusa printer farm where the Prusas are making parts for the Prusas, and it's in a room. It might be a little warm, but it's not in a chamber. So I said, if they could do it not in a chamber, I could do it not in a chamber. And I've been printing without any thermal control. Paul says, get a Prusa like Spencer. Best 3D printing advice you'll hear this year. I think Paul's speaking from experience. Yes, the Prusa works. And the other thing that's important about a Prusa is you have other people with Prusas that can advise you. I'm happy to share the whole recipe with you. I already did some of that earlier this week with respect to how I clean my PEI sheet. PEI stands for, not for Prince Edward Island, which is a nice place, but polyether imide. which is the plastic they make on the flexible steel sheets, and it works great. Uses Windex. Let me take a question from the question queue. Come on. There we go. Proteum Machining asks, any thoughts on expanding to the Fuse 1 if the nozzles take off? That's an excellent question. So, like myself, Proteum Machining is pining after the Fuse 1. The Fuse 1, and I don't remember, forgive me, I don't remember the 3-letter acronym for this, but it uses powdered metal, and you basically take a base of powdered metal and you laser sinter it, and then you go to the next, you come down, you spread your powder again, you laser sinter it, and you keep on doing that. And when you're done, you have a sintered metal part or nylon in the powder, and then you fish it out of the powder and you're done. You see how we have all this support material on the resin printed part? There's no support material because the powder is the support material. It's really cool. It is not cheap. So yeah, the answer is yes. I think it'd be a great candidate for that. And it, you know, it still beats $250,000 in injection molding tooling. Excellent question. From YouTube, Paul says, my printer is a Lulzbot 5, and I too built the enclosure in order to heat, but still use the printer. It just won't break. As soon as it does, a Prusa will replace it. So this is another interesting point as far as production is concerned. I had the Prusa printer, the TAS 6, and then I got I had the Lulzbot printer, the TAS 6, and I bought a second printer, which was the Prusa. I had a 0.8 millimeter nozzle on the TAS 6, and I had the factory supplied 0.4 millimeter nozzle on the Prusa. Well, after a while, I was printing trays on both. I was turned on to the big nozzles by Eddie Reese at Saunders Machine Works. Eddie also has the distinction of being the first commercial customer for PFG Stones. Did you know that? So that was going great, but I needed to expand. And I looked at my printers and I said, I think I want to get another Prusa. So I made the decision to sell the TAS 6, and actually I donated it to a 501c3 organization. I got rid of this TAS 6, I donated it, and I got 2 more Prusas, and that brought me up to the 3 Prusas, and I haven't looked back. And no, I did not increase the nozzle size beyond the factory 0.4 millimeters. So that's how I got to the 3 Prusas. Do you base a case, I guess you mean a tray, off of the stone set, or does a case generate a stone? I think I know what you mean. It's actually an interesting question because the raw material of the stones varies. The thing that it varies most is in the length. Okay. It also varies in thickness. It varies in everything. So I had to come up with a tray design that was able to accommodate a finished stone in all the variants, all the tolerances on the stone. I do not grind a stone to dimensions. When I do PFG stones, it's not ground to a certain dimension. It's ground flat and perpendicular within reason, but it is not ground. So there is variation in the size of the stone, and it doesn't matter. And sometimes we'll grind a stone, and I don't like the material, and maybe it rolls off on a corner too much. Even with our standard recipe, I'll grind it again. So now you might have a set of stones that's 20 thousandths of an inch thinner than another set of stones. It doesn't affect the stones at all, but you get the idea. There's some variation. So no, the trays are big enough so that is almost never a problem. Every now and then, every now and then, it's a squeaker, but no. Chris, the pragmatic machinist, says, I use 3D printing for quick, cheap prototypes. Sir, that is brilliant. So if you're going to make something out of hardened steel, make the first one out of plastic. Just go make it. Put it in your hand, especially for the knife guys. Are you knife guys listening? Especially for the knife guys. You designed this magnificent knife. 3D print the whole thing, blade and everything, and see how it feels. Just see, is it the right size? Does it feel good? Is it? Even I did this. I never got around to making the knife, but it's an amazing thing when you take a 3D object and you put it in your paw, and you will learn things that you didn't know, and that's pretty amazing. So excellent point, Chris. Bart says, what nozzle size do you use? All of them are 0.4 millimeters right now. And a bunch of people joined. Welcome aboard. Sid, welcome aboard. CNC Machinist India, welcome aboard. Andre, Fad Radcator is here. GH Gunsmith, welcome aboard. Peace. Okay, Tuck Garage says, make an enclosure for the 3D printer. Big cardboard box works great. You can pay more to get a better enclosure. So while I agree with you, Tuck, that that's an excellent way to go, I'll tell you a little story. My first 3D printer was a MakerBot Replicator 2. And it looked nice. It was not a great printer, okay? I got rid of it. I actually donated it. I got rid of it pretty quick. But of course, I built one out of plexiglass, and I learned all about plexiglass welding, and I built this gorgeous housing that went over the printer, and I should never have done that. My second chamber was made out of foil surfaced foam, that XPS foam with the foil on both sides, and I built it and attached all the pieces with aluminum HVAC tape. And then I had a piece of painter's drop cloth plastic. We were talking about LDPE on the front. That was awesome, okay? And it cost me zip. So you're right. You could make a thermal enclosure from a cardboard box. And I know some people, you're worried about drafts and stuff, and you want to use a housing. Do that first. I will tell you, I've been in my basement with those 3D printers, printing with no housing. I don't know how many kilograms of filament I've been through, but a lot. And I don't miss the housing. So it depends, okay? All right. Brennan Wood, welcome aboard. Brad Radicator says, would you do a small part sample? My PLA is not fine enough for these parts. Not only that, if it's really fine detail, I'll do a resin print for you. Okay? Just because you're a nice guy. So yeah. DM me and we'll do that for you. Not everybody should expect such service. Almost Machining says, I went with used printers to learn the tech. That's brilliant. I found problems I wanted to address, so I learned cheap. Excellent. Then decide. There are as many printers. CNC Kitchen YouTube has some good demonstrations. CNC Kitchen on YouTube is an excellent channel. And his name is Stefan. So you can collect all the Stefans. SLS, thank you, Proteum. Selective laser sintering. Nick says, I used to own a 3D printer personally, but it ended up missing the smell of tap magic so much that I sold it. Okay. Practical Renaissance, welcome aboard. Redline Manufacturing. Flood City Cooling says, a little off topic, but I have been moving my shop. Good for you. What a pain getting all the small stuff organized. Yeah, it is. I've got these bins that have the flip over tops. I must own 30 of them. Isn't that neat? Tuck Garage did the trick of getting a cheap IKEA table and printing the frames from Thingiverse. So that there's recipes online for using an IKEA table to make a chamber if you want to have a heated chamber. You probably don't have much draft in the basement. That's true, although I do have an air filter running down there. We are at the top of the hour. We're doing pretty good. Pragmatic Machinist Chris says, Creality Ender 3 can't beat for the money. I've never run one, but I've seen the results from them, and I've heard other people. Sure. I believe that's a machine from China. And what do they cost? About maybe $200 for a Creality Ender 3. And it will teach you everything you need to know about 3D printing. Isn't it weird how we spent so much time on 3D printing today? But I really believe it's part of our workflow. You know, if you're a tool maker, look at Adam the Machinist, who, by the way, yeah, $200-ish. We didn't see Adam today. He's probably enjoying the sunshine or working his butt off, or both. You know, if you're Adam the Machinist and your work output is carbide and hardened steel tooling, and what is he doing? He's experimenting with 3D printing. It has a place in our workflow. Okay. Ender 3 is about $200. I have it and would highly recommend it, says Tuck Garage. Awesome. Dot Nierbo, welcome. So we've hit the top of the hour. It is 14:01 on the East Coast. And I will answer, I will stand by for a DM from Fad Radketer. I will answer questions of any type for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up because that hour flew by. I'm going to take a sip of agua fria. So while you're thinking of your questions, YouTube guys, except for the startup mishap, YouTube been good? Has YouTube been good? Let me know. Oh, you're welcome, Paul. Happy to help. We have a good community. Favorite extruded material for 3D printer? What other materials have you tried? So I started like everybody started with PLA. I did a bunch of PLA. I actually did some shelf supports in PLA that are still holding up a shelf in my lab, and it's holding up about 15 pounds of equipment in the lab, and it's been that way for over a decade. Isn't that amazing? So I've tried PLA. YouTube is perfect. Ha, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I just wish I didn't screw up the opening, the startup, but we'll get that sorted out. So I've done PLA, and then once I went to PETG, I kind of didn't look back. I tried ASA at the recommendation of Eddie Reese, who does a lot of 3D printing. And I liked the results, but they weren't earth-shatteringly superior to PETG. I get it that it had better yield, but I wasn't running parts to yield. So ASA also smelled. Here's the thing. If you print PLA, it smells like corn oil, which is actually quite pleasant. because it came from corn oil. If you print PETG, you smell nothing. Okay, I have printed a lot of PETG, and you cannot tell by walking into my basement. While all three printers are going, you can't tell with your schnoz. I think that's it. I don't think I've tried many other materials. I've been PETG from, more than anything. I would say I'm 95%, if not more, PETG. So, hope that helps. What are you guys doing today? So I'm going to be traveling this week. So I won't be in the shop as much. So I may not have any amazing shop results, but I'm super happy about the shop results that we did get. By the way, this is what you do with tray prototypes that didn't work out. I'm super happy about the results we got on the NOZ, and we will be getting, we have some reasonable stock right now on the NOZ, but I hope we have that process smoothed out next weekend, and I will report back. But yeah, super happy about that. All right, guys. Seeing as I don't have any more for you, we got the checklist complete, and you guys are awesome. I will remind you, if you want a sticker pack, like others have wanted, send me a sticker, and I will send you a sticker pack for this many dollars. Okay, at the moment, USA only. If you're super agitated and you're outside the USA, we'll figure something out. And then eventually I'll get the international going. Or if you just want to give me $10 and I'll send you a sticker pack, that's fine too. All set up on the website. Am I going to be at IMTS? I think it's going to be a hard no this year. But it sounds like something I should do. But I think this year is going to be difficult for reasons. So that's it. If you need custom sticker design for your shop, head over to conjet.art. Links in my bio. And Sam does a really nice job on art stuff, which I can't draw a straight line with a pen, so that's a good thing. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Go have some fun in the shop. I'm just reading a message from Foxburg. So the address to send your stickers to is on the order process. If you go to my website and you say, I want to buy a sticker pack, there's a pull down. You have to choose a variant. If you pull down the variant that says, I have sent you stickers, okay, right on the product page for the stickers is the address. It's Post Office Box 118, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. And just put KP or Kinetic Precision, Post Office Box 118, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. Okay? That ought to do it. All right, guys. Take care. 8 minutes after the hour. Not too bad. Not as late as sometimes. We'll see you next week, and maybe we'll figure out some surprises for you. Be awesome.